Hello. We're going to be doing a react video on this guy. Read the title, and let's read the description here. Yeah, you can tell what he's going to try and say just off of, well, this.
What you are looking at is the demonic little secret behind Charlie.
I'm actually going to turn the audio up. That is the first thing he said upon seeing this.
Kirk's assassination. Now, you think that you're looking at a furry, a young person wearing a mechanical tail that's moving around, but there's something much more insidious, something much more sinister behind all of this. Now, before you laugh and click off this video, it might be in your home. If you've got kids, there might be elements of this creeping into your home. And again,
That's just a tactic a lot of people use nowadays. It's called fear mongering. He does this a lot. I've looked at this video. He does it a shit ton in this video. But yeah, that's just a tactic a lot of people use. It's fear mongering just to try and get people scared of something that's in reality fucking harmless.
again, it's presenting itself as like this cutesy little trend. But let me just tell you, as somebody who has studied demonology for decades of my life, this is ancient, this is demonic, and this played a major role
No, it is not.
in the martyrdom of Charlie Kirk. I'm going to break that down for you today. Take a look at this video real quick, though, with me. It's just, hey, my POV, my realistic, fluffy foxtail.
Actually, hold on, I wonder. Let's see here. Hmm, cool.
Looks so real that people got scared. So, hey, as a Gen Z, this is how I can get attention by looking like this. And no, I'm not mocking it. I'm just simply trying to say that Satan always comes masquerading as an angel of light. But when you peel back the layers, there's something darker, there's something more evil behind it. Now, look at this. Okay.
That is, with any community, if you look hard enough, you will find some depraved shit. If you just look hard enough, you will find a lot of things about a community.
Okay. This is my first day of school being a Therian. Okay, I want to kind of like do this play by play though, because many of you have never heard the word Therian before. Okay. Why is this so important? Look at the Chuck Taylors with the lines on the toes to look like their paws. This is very important because a Therian is different than a fur.
I'm gonna give you a simple explanation because this guy won't give you a good one. It's furries cosplay as animals. Therians think they're animals. That's the basic explanation I can give you.
Furry. Now, again, just stay here. Okay. We're going to watch this video in a second. I'm going to show you some more things and break this down. But in case you think that you just randomly clicked on this video, no, this is a divine appointment because God wants you to see this. Let me show you why. Charlie Kirk's assassination suspect had a furry fixation. So I just showed you two clips of furries. We're going to go back and watch that last video in a second because it's going to horrify you to see what's happening in the schools of America. But
Okay, when is this made? When is this made? Okay, I'll give it to him. So I assume this is made before people found out the shooter was on the far right. And I don't know if people know this. Shooters are mentally ill people. I don't think I need to say this. Because he furry fixation. Jesus Christ. One person does this shit. I. This is the first time I've seen anyone with a furry fixation shoot someone. Like, that is the first ever time. And just because one person has a fixation on something doesn't even mean they're in the community.
Charlie Kirk's assassination suspect had a furry fixation, and his trans boyfriend proclaimed support for Biden on social media. So take a look at his boyfriend, and this is a transgendered man presenting as a female. I'm saying that in air quotes, but look at the hood over his head. Look at
Look at the hood over her head. Um, that's a fucking onesie. That that's what this is. Literally. That's what the fuck that is. It's a onesie.
the design on it. You might have just passed this up because you're not spiritually discerning, but you're here in this YouTube channel because God wants you to grow in your spiritual discernment. Okay. That's why we have freedom of speech, so that I can help show you these patterns and things that are presenting themselves as modern, or even just some kind of like relevant trend amongst Gen Z and, young millennials, is actually something ancient and something evil. Because again, look, it's a puppy head.
Okay, I'm gonna say this because he fucking lied there. The furry fandom's been around before Gen Z was a thing. Like, hold on. I don't have it on the top of my head. The 80s. Yeah. It's been around for 40 fucking years.
Can you see this in the picture? I'm just putting this puppy image like over my head. Why is this important? What does this have to do with with this murder? What does this have to do with this assassination?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Okay, there's two categories we're gonna break down, and we're gonna go back to that video in a second. There's furries and there's Therians. Okay, so it's easy to dismiss these as just strange internet trends, but they are growing, and it's infiltrating our schools, our community, and there's even Christian young people who are falling prey to this. Okay, now I want us to
Okay, let's see here. That's fear mongering again. That's the second time now. Let's see how many times he does it.
stay compassionate and grounded in the truth of God's word, but I'm also going to be firm. And by the way, if you're watching this video as a furry, if you're somebody who identifies as a Therian, I want you to just watch all the way through, because I'm a father. I have children of my own. And I'm saying this with a lot of love and a lot of compassion. You will know the truth, and the truth can set you free. But let me explain, after all of my research, what a furry and what a Therian is. If you identify as a furry or a Therian, let me know in the comment section if I got this right, because I really tried to do the best job that I could. So what exactly is a furry? Well, the term refers to this subculture of people who are interested in anthropomorphic animals. What does that mean? Animals with human characteristics. It's just a big word that
He nailed it there. That's what furry is, so give him to that.
basically means animals with human characteristics. So like, I'm a child of the 80s. Think about the 80s and 90s. You have movies like Zootopia, you have Robin Hood. It's like they're not
Hold on. No fucking way this was made before. Okay, I was about to say, no fucking
not just
way.
animals, they're actually animals that present as like human characteristics. So, this interest, it shows up in many different ways. People create art, they write furry stories.
Makes sense. I did watch it when I was, well, 6.
They, sometimes even dress up in these elaborate costumes called fursuits. Now, I want to show you what these costumes look like, okay? Here's what the costumes look like. Now, the very first time that I saw these one of these fursuits. I was actually in Italy and I was in Rome, and I thought it was like a mascot for some kind of sporting event or whatever.
That's pretty much what they are. Genuinely, that's pretty much just what they are. It's-
And I was like, this is like really bizarre. What is that? My daughter, who's a teenager, is like, Dad, it's a fursuit. They're a furry. And when you look at this, it looks almost like happy, right? Like, oh, this is great. Like, look at, look at this thing. But for most, and this is what I need you to understand, it's this creative hobby. It's a way to connect with others who share their interests. It provides a strong sense of community. Look at them like, oh, I'm here with all my furry friends. And again, it's like Satan always comes in the form of an angel of light. It's always, hey, I'm here to help. Hey, this is going to make your life better. Look, you're so shy.
For a lot of people, it does make their life better. For others, it makes it worse. Mostly because of people outside the community making it worse for them. Yeah, for itself is fucking welcoming of others. It's been like that for years. People outside the community drive others away from it, though.
You're introverted, but behind this suit, you can finally be yourself. As a matter of fact, they have this term, my fursona, which is persona. So they take person, replace the word with fur, and fursona. And now it's like look, my furry fursona. Now let me go back to that video. Remember, I told you about that video. By the way, if this is helping you, if you're a parent and you're so thankful to be educated in this way, would you just smash the thumbs up, especially if you feel like, hey, more people need this, more people need to hear this message. Matter of fact, if you're a Christian, would you let me know in the comment section? And maybe you were unaware of this. Let's get a good conversation going. But look at this video, okay? One
Oh
day
lord.
of being Etherean. Okay, let me.
Quick heads up, they're about to make an incredibly dumb fucking comparison here that I'm going to tear into.
One day of being Etherean at school. Now, this is different than a furry because Satan has a way of progressing us. Okay, let me explain. It's
Not
like,
this.
well, first I got drunk on alcohol, then I smoked weed, and weed was
There it
the
is.
marijuana
I'm gonna let it keep playing, but
was the gateway to hard drugs, and then I started doing meth, and then cocaine, heroin. Now I'm dead. Or
they just compared wearing a tail at school to alcohol and hard drugs. That's definitely a comparison, which is definitely has nothing to do with furry. Like what the fuck, dude? They just compared hard drugs like meth and cocaine to wearing a tail at school.
hey, I started watching, sexually perverse videos online. And then all of a sudden that turned into an addiction. Then I wanted it in person. Then I started sleeping around with people. Now I have a disease. Now I'm dead. It's
I don't know where he's pulling these connections from. Like this shit coming straight out the ass.
like Satan always starts you off in the most entertainment based, the most lighthearted, the funnest version of it. But guess what? It's like it was fun the first couple times you got drunk. Now you're getting high. Now you're dying of addiction. It was fun. It was fun the first couple times that you gave into sexual temptation. It was exciting. It was a thrill. Now all of a sudden you're diseased. You're dying. You're dealing with the consequences of all those. This is how Satan.
Say this: if you have a drinking problem, and if you like drinking, try and drink with friends on special occasions only. It's one way to cut your addiction down. It's not going to stop it, but trying to only drink with people on special occasions can help you overcome your drinking problem, which If I can help, I will. I like helping people.
Does things. So now when I'm saying that because it's like they're starting as, oh look, it's furries. I'm wearing a mechanical tail. It's cute. Now we're advancing. Now we're going into the realm of Therian. Okay, now look. And now this is from somebody's posted video online showing the tail. And look what they say. Teacher said that they like my tail. So what is this? You know, every student wants the approval of their teacher. What better way to wear a tail? And now your teacher say, I like your tail. Look at the cute little emoji with the see, this is how the deception happens. So they're going through their school day, wagging their tail. My teachers like it.
Okay, what I've seen this, but what deception? Like he just says this is how the deception happens. People are just being nice to you. Like there is no deception. People are just being nice to you. Well, except for those ones.
Some children, they laugh at me. But then here's what happens. But my classmates supported me. So look, what's my protection from my bullies? It's my suit. It's my tail, it's my shoes, it's looking like paws. It's this persona because look, now my classmates even
I'm gonna say this. I don't like it when people wear those type of things in class because it can very well be distracting. But if no one cares and people are supporting you, there is no issue with it.
even support me. See, this is how deception happens. I'm going to pick up the pace here because I want you to stay through the entire duration of this video because you're like, what does this have to do with assassination culture? What does this have to do with what happened to Charlie Kirk? I'm going to tie it all together for you. But look at the last part of this video. When I was waiting on the bus, an old lady said that I looked nice. So it's like, look, the older generation is complimenting me because I wear this suit. I'm a Therian. I'm a furry. People are supporting me. My friends, like,
New. Okay, as I stated with the whole furries and therians, they're not the same thing. I'll say it again. Furries cosplay as animals. Therians think they're animals. Not the same thing. People get it confused a lot, but Hugh has no reason to because he just said what they are. Like not even a minute ago.
somehow life is better now because I have this persona. Okay, and look at the very last part of this because it's really important.
God damn it.
She was so nice. And look at the cry emoji. Tears welling up in my eyes, like tears welling up. She was so nice. People are not nice to me, but when I have the tail on, they are. This is the lie. This is the very
What is the lie? It's a factually correct statement.
deception. Now look at the stakes are changing now, aren't they?
Nothing changed. He just put an image on the screen with no connection.
Now it's assassination. Now it's furry fixation. Now it's I have a trans boyfriend.
Okay, I'm going to say it. He had a trans boyfriend and he had a furry fixation, but the shooter was on the far right. If you look at his activities he did, he shot guns, he hunted, he fished. He was even seen at rallies for Trump. So this dude was on the far right. Just because he had a furry fixation doesn't mean he is necessarily a furry, although there are people on the far right that are furries. They're incredibly uncommon. And knowing how he just had a fixation and there's no evidence him ever interacting with the furry fandom out of that.
That that I have to defend. That Charlie Kirk is speaking out against these things, and I
So I want to put on New York Post. They post the absolute dumbest shit that is half true
need,
statements.
like, this isn't right, and we should have the freedom, and you don't understand our community. So you might have heard this term Therian, but this is where it takes on a dark twist. This is different. A Therian is someone who spiritually, and this is not my words as a Christian, this is their words. They call it spiritual. I spiritually identify as an animal. I don't identify with an animal, I identify as one. So that video you just watched, this person saying I'm Ethereum, and you may not know what that term meant this whole video.
Yeah, and that's essentially what these two people weren't. One on the right identified as woman. Guy on the left is a guy. Like, they did not identify as animals.
Now you actually know what they're saying is I don't identify with one, I identify as one in the spirit. Okay? Now, it's this is deeply personal. So if you tell them you can't wear that, you can't do that in school, now you're speaking to them on a spiritual level. You're denying them. This is now turning into a religion. This is no.
Okay, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think Charlie ever spoke out against the fandom or Therians. So they would have had no reason to, do what they did.
No, I identify with this. I practice this. This is an animal spirit in a human body, as they would say. Okay. Now, why?
Also, I find it's fucking disrespectful to peddle lies and manipulation when someone hadn't even died for a month. Like, still, it's still a fucking touchy subject for me. But like, the dude hasn't even been buried yet, and people are using him to lie.
Why is this important? For Ethereum, their animal identity isn't just a hobby, it's a very core part of who they are. So look at this right here. So now all of a sudden, if you're less discerning, you don't even realize that hood that's over the boyfriend's head is actually signifying.
As I've said this before, that hood is just a fucking onesie. People use people wear them because they're comfortable. Hell, I have one.
Something much more personal, much more personal. They're identifying with this. Okay, okay, stay with me because I'm gonna pull it all together right now, and I think it's gonna shock you. A furry might say, I like wolves, and my persona is a wolf. But a wolf Therian might say, I am a wolf. It's a profound internal identity.
There you go. That's an accurate representation of what that is. Once again, he keeps confusing furries with Therians, which he didn't do it here, but it's still fucking dumb. He knows what they are and still lops the two together.
Not an external performance. But these communities are growing. Some of you might be horrified to discover that this stuff is happening in the other room amongst your kids, or they're best friends with somebody. And even if your kids are not identifying as a Therian or a furry,
I stopped keeping track, but that's another fear mongering tactic, so that's three I kept. But okay, if parents are watching this and you have a furry in your household, it's not necessarily a bad thing. If they're underage, do your best to keep an eye on them, see how they're interacting with people, because although it's a small portion, there are still some fucking horrible people in this community that you should be aware of.
they have friends, they're best friends, and there's this emotional connection that's opening the door to make something okay that's not okay. But for those of you watching who
Being a furry with Theron is 100% okay. Like, no matter what fucking people say, as long as you're not hurting anyone, it is okay.
are furries, who are Therians, you're in the right place right now because I want to help you understand your true identity. I want you to understand why this really matters and the fact that
Once again, he's lopping Therians and furries into the same batch. Like, he knows what the two are, but just lops them in together.
you're doing something that's not new. You're doing something that's ancient. These we have these modern labels like this is my persona, but actually there's these underlying ideas that are connected to demonic spirits. And the very practice of humans taking on animal personas is old as civilization itself. So in many ancient pagan and shaman
You also know what's as old as humanity? Religion. Actually, Christianity is one of the newer religions in comparison to the other one. It's still thousands of years old, but it's rather new. being formed like 200 years before Rome fell.
Shamanistic religions, this was a part of worship. So, what this kid is doing at their school that you're seeing on the video right now, this is the same as a Muslim praying multiple times a day. This is the same.
No, it's not. And why the fuck are you bashing another religion that has nothing to do with any of your arguments? And it's not like we don't pray. Hell, I don't really believe in shit. Like, there are furries that pray, yes, but why bash on them for it?
As a Christian, having a Bible club and reading scripture, this is worship, this is religion, this is an identity, this is spiritual. And now, watch, let me connect it though. So, just in case you didn't believe me, in ancient Egypt, priests wore masks of gods, one of them named Anubis. That was actually a jackal headed god to channel their power during rituals. So, Anubis, this jackal headed god, they would take this hood, this mask, place it over themselves, and they would begin to channel power. So now watch this. Look, think about what I just said. They would wear a hood, they would wear a mask, and they would channel power.
That's a onesie. And, since they're on the far right, I can assume they're Christian, so. Like, that's a fucking onesie, my brother.
What do you see in the picture? This is demonic. This is worship. This is
And to give it to him, he definitely made a connection that make kind of makes sense if you look at it from a mile away.
this is an ancient Egyptian demon in a new day. Okay, you don't believe me about that? Okay, oh Mike, that's too much of a stretch. Okay, let's go a little bit deeper because I got some more for you. What about the Norse legends of the berserkers? These were warriors. Yeah, they wore bear and wolf skins, but they were actually
Funny thing about these berserkers, they lived in cold ass environments like Scandinavia, parts of the UK. So when they wore it, it was normally cold as shit. And without fucking clothes, you will die.
believed to take on the spirit of the animal in battle when they did it. So the berserkers were warriors that I'm not just wearing this wolf skin or this bear skin to keep warm. I'm actually wearing this to channel the spirit of that wolf or of that bear, and it's going to empower me to be a berserker, this crazy warrior.
Not to be this guy, but also, that's not even a wolf onesie. That's a dog.
And so look at how
What type of power does a dog got? Like, they pretty much suck at everything compared to humans.
Satan rebrands. It's a puppy. I'm wearing the persona of a puppy, and what? But okay, it's still the same demon behind it. These practices were about blurring the lines between human and animal and between the physical and
No, those practices were mostly religion and trying not to die from the cold.
spirit realms. Okay. So it was an attempt to find power, it was an attempt to find identity, and it was an attempt to find connection. Watch this. Y'all, this is going to help you so much. It's going to help your children. It's going to save you. What is this student? Look, sitting in the school. I find connection. I find power. It's all there. I find my identity. I am this animal. And that idea, look me in my eyes when I tell you this, because I want you to see my eyes right now. That identity is
I hate it when people do that. That's just creepy.
so powerful to them that they're willing to kill for it now.
To the best of my knowledge, not a single furry is killed over a fursuit, and not a single Therian is killed over. Actually, correct me. I'll correct myself. There was an incident. God damn it. Let me find. I keep mistyping. I hate this keyboard. This it wasn't really spiritual. Yeah, it was a pedophile killing a family. Yeah,
Why do I not think this is strange? Well, because animals are governed by instinct, not
okay, I'm gonna say this. Yeah, that's true. But laws are governed by people, and if you identify as an animal, it's not gonna give you a get out of jail free card in law,
intellect.
which is exactly what he tries to say.
See, when an animal kills, that animal doesn't get put in prison because it's not governed by intellect, it's governed by instinct. So what could it be?
Yeah, when an animal kills someone, it doesn't get put in prison. It gets killed. Like most of the animals that have attacked people have ended up dying.
Be that furry culture, that fursonas, could it be that Therians are actually giving themselves license to kill, giving themselves license
Say this overwhelming amount of Therians are kids or minors under 18. So, no, they're not giving themselves license to kill. Like, that would be such a dumb point in court. Like, fucking going on a murder charge and saying, Your Honor, I identify as an animal. Like, it doesn't do anything.
to have unfettered sexual activity because, hey, I'm an animal in a human body. Why would you blame me for this? When your dog does sexual activity, is it doing something wrong or is it just doing its instinct? This is Luciferianism.
Humans have the same instinct. We may be smart, but we still got animal hardware. We the basic three things we have is flight, fight, or have sex with someone. That's literally our instincts.
Unmasked. This is the very thing that Lucifer said, where he said, I will ascend. I will be like God. The very first sin was not in the Garden of Adam and Eve. The very first sin was in heaven when Lucifer, who was not created in the image of God, oh, come on, when he was not created in the image of God, said, I.
Okay, Christians, if God created everything, that would mean he created Lucifer, which also, I don't even know who the fuck created God. But so yes, he was created in the image. I'm not gonna bash on religion. I'm just fucking giving my opinion on shit. I don't know a lot about Christianity at all, so I'm not gonna talk about it.
I will be like God. So it's this melding together of self, I will do what I want to do. If it feels good to me, if I think it's right, I will do. And human, which is created in the image of God. It's a distortion of the imago Dei. It's a distortion of the very image of God that's inside of every single one of us. And it's a perversion of it. And Satan loves to do that. That's why he did it with multiple cultures. And I just told you about that. But if you're a furry, if you're a Therian, if you're watching this right now, if you're in your school and you feel so much power as a result of that mask, but then you feel so powerless when you take it off, I have a message for you right now. I have a message from heaven. I have a message from your creator. See, when you take that mask off and you look in the mirror, according to the scriptures, you are seeing the very image of God because you were created in.
I'm gonna say this: there are fucking furries that have identity crises. Same thing with Therians. It can happen to anyone, and it mental health is fucking serious. If you have anything, there's a number to call. I'm going to have it linked in the description. If you have mental health issues, feel free to call that number.
In his image. and it is Lucifer, the very one that got thrown out of heaven. He's the one that's trying to get you to cover that image because he hates looking at your real face. Some of you think, I hate my face. No, the demons inside of you hate your face because your face is a reminder of God himself. And it's God who brought you to this video, and it's God who brought you to the truth, because you will hear the truth and the truth will set you free. And the
I'm gonna say this: not a single thing actually, I'd say like one or two things he said is true, and it's mostly describing furries. Like pretty much the only two things he got correct was history and describing furries. That is literally it.
truth is, you are not a product just of your parents, but of your heavenly Father who breathed into you the Ruach, the breath of God that became your spirit. You don't have an animal spirit.
Yeah, I'm gonna say this once again. I don't want to bash on religion, but based off of fucking I forgot what it is, but it's a law of nature. Energy cannot be created or destroyed, so you can't just randomly come into existence. Like,
Spirit. You have the breath of God Almighty that became your spirit. And before you were even in your mother's womb, he knew you, the true you, not the costume, not the outfit, but the you that he created. And if there's tears coming down right now, it's because it's a confirmation that you can be free. You're asking the question, who am I? Who am I? But to understand that, you got to go back to the beginning. Go back to the book of Genesis. Go back to where he said in Genesis chapter 1, verse 27. So God be your identity, but he makes you
Jesus Christ, he's still going on about it.
being a female that you become a son, or you become.
Okay, I didn't realize he went on for that for 3 minutes, so I'm gonna leave it here because anything beyond this, he just fucking trauma dumps. I've seen the video. Going on beyond this, he just fucking trauma dumps his past onto anyone. So anyway, I'm gonna see y'all, and shout out to someone for giving me the excellent video idea. This man right here, thank you for the video idea. Go and report my video if you see it. Make my day. Anyway, have a good to everyone for watching this hour long video.